Regarding transcripting, the transcripting process in the brain. There was a study done on brain damage, comparisons of a particular kind of brain damage between, I believe it was Japanese, but they were Eastern, and they used not an alphabet, but the ideograms, as you know, the Chinese, Japanese characters used in writing. And they compared them with this particular brain damage to Westerners, or it may have been Americans or whoever, that used English in the using alphabetized way of creating or representing one's thoughts. And what they found with this particular brain damage is that the Easterners with this type of ideograms were able to speak, where the Westerners with the alphabetized language could not. And so there is a process of where the brain with the alphabet has to transcribe experiences into using an alphabet into words in order to speak, where the Easterners did not utilize that transcripting process. Utilize a different function of the brain. Well, if you're using a transcripting process in the brain, your brain has a limited number of letters. It has to synthesize your experience and actually truncates your experiences as it transcripts it into your language to your brain that you consciously hear. The Eastern mind, with its way of relating, has a different process. But you can think of it as if you're riding in a train, and you're watching the scenery landscaped outside go by. Well, in the transcripting process, it's actually you'd be having to read the subtitles, the closed caption, because your brain has to transcribe what is going on into something so you can hear your thoughts in English. You see? And so your mind has to concentrate on the subtitles, the closed captioning that's going on. And so you cannot perceive everything that's going on because your mind is occupied. And there's a time delay. Well, most of the time, 99.9% of the time, you people don't see this, but you can experience it. It is a real able to be experienced phenomena. I remember, for instance, with sound, I remember waking in my bedroom early one morning, 2 a.m. or something, and I scratched myself. And I heard the scratch of my fingernails, and then they heard right after it. So first of all, there was the scratch, and then and it sounded like, and I did it again. And, I realized my bedroom was only 10 feet long, but this was the time delay in sound. Sometimes circumstances obtain such that you experience things that under normal conditions you would never have thought of or been able to experience. But this was one such thing that happened. And the same is true of the transcripting process, that it's a very, very short time delay between what's happening and the mind transcripting it to your brain. And you relate to the world through the description that your mind is sending to you in this transcription as you hear it as words. But it has been transcribed from the actual perception of what's happening. Yeah, well, there were, again, some circumstances that obtained that as this occurred, I was able to experience this, but not just once now. Well, anyway, yes, more than that. But you see, the Eastern mind that is utilizing the ideograms, they don't have to see subtitles. Their minds are taking things in. An ideogram has more like concepts. They're taking things in great gulps. They're not reading subtitles. So they're seeing things in a different manner, and they are able to access more information faster and more comprehensive than somebody who's limited by the transcripting process. So they see things, they can see patterns, while the transcripting mind is occupied with the kind of the truncating process that happens with transcripting. This Eastern mind can see patterns that are developing in the landscape as the landscape evolves. So they're seeing very different things. It's like some animals can see infrared. Some people who are colorblind can see things that other people can't see. And those things that they see are real. And so it's not a coincidence that all the greats, Jesus, Muhammad, Rumi, Buddha, have all come from areas that use ideogram type relating to their surroundings. It is said that if you want technology, come to the West. If you want to know about these other matters that really are the basis of life, to learn about the basis of life, the source, go to the East. Westerners are very caught up with technology and scientific methodology and deliberate, logical, intellectual thinking. As a consequence, with this approach to the world and to life, they miss out on some extremely crucial and essential aspects in ways of relating, understanding, and perceiving what's going on. So people who utilize the transcripting process first have to become aware of what they're doing. And it's kind of an obstacle to understanding what's coming out of the East has been. And just like the intellect and technology has methodology and learning and education, so do the ways of things coming out of the East. There is developed methodology. There are reproducible results in learning how to perceive these important aspects that are subtle, but not subtle.